which is characters without hope. What would life be like without God? Even if you're the smartest person around, the richest person, the most popular person, the best looking person, and you did have a main character in here was like a supermodel. She knew everything. The women were pretty, they were at the top of their game. The guys were kind of questionable sometimes. But what would life look like without God? Hopeless and ultimately pointless. You might be able to develop a moral structure that sounds good, maybe helping others. But why? Because it makes you feel good, because you become more popular. Whether the universe ends in a big crunch or a big whimper of the heat death of the universe, eventually the human race as a whole will come to an end, just as each one of us eventually dies. Without God, nothing will remain of our collective efforts. No monuments, no philosophy, no physical sign that the human race was ever here. Without God, our lives have no lasting value. So what is the point of the human race? Some atheists would say there is no point. And in their worldview, that is correct. But that really is just kind of hopeless. I mean, what is really there? One of the ways the Three Body Problems wrestles with this question is through the lives of the followers of non-theistic religion, a cult led by billionaire Mike Evans. This is the one that you were talking about earlier. They live as a commune on a ship called Judgment Day. They call their alien ambassador the Lord. They submit themselves to the Lord's will and consider her their protector. There is an apocalyptic future event that they believe that their group will survive and have a greater place, or at least a greater understanding, than those outside their group. So who are they? What do they believe? And let's look at some of the quotes. Now, this is Tatiana, who is the assassin girl that's in there, and pretty brutal, some of the things she does. She's talking to Jin Cheng, who is one of the scientists. And she's talking to her about the term, my lord. She says,
I want to know why the universe works the way it does. I want the big answers.
If anyone knows those answers, it's our Lord.
Yes. I trust in our Lord to provide them.
I know it feels strange to say it at first. It makes us all sound like religious loons. Except our Lord is real.
Another quote is, we cannot save ourselves, but we are not alone. They are coming to teach us their knowledge. We must prepare our world for their arrival and our descendants to welcome them. We will give them the gift of our world. All this sounds like, all that you're doing is you're pulling out God and you're putting these aliens in its place.
That's exactly what it is. Like this, these are our gods. These are who we're turning our people, our planet, and our species over to. These are the words of a traitor. They really are a traitor to the race.
Yes. So they say, another quote is,
a moment like this is a great test of faith. Has your faith been tested?
We always thought the Lord was watching over us.
Unlike the mythical gods our species has conjured up, our Lord truly watches over us.
And that was a telling thing to say that, okay, we're just making up this thing about God, Christianity, and everything like that. But these aliens are real, and they're coming to help us.
Yeah, so if these aliens are real, something that would have been thought fantasy just a little bit ago by many, many people, are you so sure that those gods, well, one in particular, was not real?
Wow. Yeah. So that's a big question here. And you look at this and they're almost kind of mocking this, because this group is really, if these aliens are coming to invade, this group is a traitorous group. Correct?
Yeah. If the aliens are coming as peaceful ambassadors who actually just want to coexist, then they're still traitors.
Ultimately, science fiction that leaves no room for God ends in hopelessness. But you don't realize that in most science fiction, like Back to the Future or even Star Trek Next Generation. The more a story presses up against the eternal questions and ignores God or even mocks him, it's more evident how hollow it becomes. In the opening scene of the first episode, Dr. Wei's father is at one of the struggle sessions during the Maoist Cultural Revolution and is accused of teaching counter-revolutionary concepts such as the Big Bang Theory. They ask him,
假设了时间的起点。你说什么？那起点以前有什么？没错，这就给上帝的存在留下了位置。你是想说有上帝？
无论有没有，可是都没给出确实的证据。
how do you handle this? The existence of God, as we get closer to questions of eternity, we get closer to the questions about God and what his purpose, if anything, there is for us. Any last comments?
Dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun.
No, that sums it up quite nicely. That is it. We have a purpose. We have, I mean, the Bible's pretty clear on that. And without that, you're end up with hopelessness.
Yeah.
And we've seen that in a lot of movies where they come out and it's like, this is our utopia. It's like, man, it's just hollow. There's just nothing here beyond just this facade. Just satisfying what we need right now, and then as soon as you push into it, there's just nothing here.
Yeah, and I think that's maybe that's one of the frustrations I felt with watching the series is I wanted to reach out and touch and say, hey guys, there's something bigger here. There's something bigger, and especially the one character who is dying of pancreatic cancer. It's like, oh.
Well, they set up the Chinese Revolution as being this bad thing, and the scientists who lived through it's pointing it out, and even, mentions about the posters that they have with the Chinese just smashing, the Communist Party just smashing the old religious icons, Jesus, Buddha, whatever. And, out with the old, in with the new. And she adopts that mentality.
Oh, yeah. Later on.
And it's like, you're so close. I mean, they didn't pull punches with it. Even those who sided with the Communist Party end up bad in the end.
Yeah.
But it still ends up hopeless in the end.
Yeah.
Because we have to have something else come and save us. Now, that was a good message there, that humanity is so lost that we are struggling. We just keep, everything we try, we keep breaking. And we need something else.
We need
save
help
us.
from the outside. Yes.
And that is the message of Christianity. That is the message of the cross, is we could not do ourselves. So God, loving us, decided to take the punishment on himself.
Right.
So that's another one that you can pull out from this with someone else saying, hey, here you go.
We can't do it alone. But we do need help. And that's what Dr. Wei did at the beginning. She called for help. Problem is, she called the wrong people. But yes, she did call for help. Thank you for watching this clip from the Newton Sci-Fi podcast. If you enjoyed this clip, please join us live. We'd love to hear from you.